All right, Tito, Jeff Fidoff here with you, the Black and Gold Blitz. Go FanStream Sports, DSP Media. Go check out the app. It's a free app to download. All kinds of new shows coming out there. It's free for Apple and Android. We got so many exciting things happening with FanStream Sports. Go check it out. Follow me on the X. I am at FitHappens. Look, Steelers are 3-0, right? And nothing to be more excited about than being 3-0, 3 games into the regular season, including 2 road wins. The Steelers had their home opener on Sunday and took on the Chargers, and the Chargers come in undefeated. They were a depleted team already because of Justin Herbert. And Herbert comes in, didn't know if he'd play or not with a high ankle sprain, and gives it a go and was out of the game after he didn't play much at all in this game. It didn't look like the normal Justin Herbert. So that happens, which means that Taylor Heinicke had to come in, and then also Joey Bosa got hurt in the game, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt. They lost a couple of offensive tackles there and a key defensive player. Nonetheless, it was a 20-10 win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And a couple things that really stood out to me about this game. We'll talk about the defense later, but first I want to talk about Justin Fields. In his first 2 weeks, he only completed 30 passes for 273 yards and the 1 touchdown. Yesterday, he was 25 of 32 for 245 yards and a touchdown. Also had a rushing touchdown, but threw an interception, first one of the season. And I started looking at this, and when people are concerned about Fields, should he be the starter, should it be Russell Wilson? Look, he's 3-0 as a starter for this team. They've got to keep starting him. And I want to go back and compare Ben Roethlisberger's first 3 starts with the Steelers to Justin Fields. Now, remember, Roethlisberger comes in a very vanilla offense early on. They relied on their defense that season and go away win a Super Bowl. Roethlisberger comes in. His first start was against the Miami Dolphins, Roethlisberger's was, and it was a 13-3 win. He was 12 of 22 for 163, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Then they beat the Bengals 28-17. They got a defensive touchdown in that game to help the cause. Again, Steelers defense. In that game, Roethlisberger was 17 out of 25 for 174 yards with a touchdown and no interceptions. Then they beat the Browns 34-23, 16-21, 231 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So through his first 3 games, Ben Roethlisberger he was 45 of 68 for 568 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 45 of 68, 568 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Justin Fields' first 3 games with the Steelers, 55 of 75, 518 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. 10 more completions, 7 more attempts, about 50 fewer yards, and 1 fewer touchdown, but also 1 fewer interception. Ben's regular season that year, when he as a starter, he played 14 games total. He started 13, but played 14 games total. In those 14 games, Roethlisberger had 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and averaged 187 yards passing a game. So, because of that, and I'm not saying, I know Fields is not a rookie, obviously. Roethlisberger comes in as a rookie, doesn't expect to play, gets in there because of injury, same way Fields kind of did, because it was going to be Wilson starting in all likelihood if he would have been healthy. But now you look at this team and where they're at, and there's a lot of similarities between this team and that Super Bowl team under Roethlisberger when they ran the table in his first year as a Steelers starter as a rookie. So lots of similarities. If you look at the way the offense is going to be constructed, the way the defense is constructed. Look, Fields has also rushed for 90 yards and a touchdown through these 3 games. 7 of his carries have resulted in first downs. The leader on the team is Najee Harris, who has had 8 rushes for first down. So the Steelers offense looked much better, a little more wide open against the Chargers in the 20-10 victory. If I didn't say it up front, it was a 20-10 victory, as you probably know, being a Steelers fan. But the other big part, and Russell Wilson, we're not sure when he's coming back, but he should be coming back now. Fields has this job. This team is playing well under Fields. And the offensive line that was suspect coming into the season, if you have a more mobile quarterback back there, it makes the offensive line look better than it is. Now, the offensive line, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but the offensive line, when you got a more mobile guy back there, he can turn some potential sacks into a 1 or 2 yard gain, which helps things out. He knows how to escape the pocket better. Having a mobile quarterback makes a huge difference when you've got questionable offensive line play. Speaking of questionable offensive line play, first round pick for 2023, Broderick Jones. He has underperformed in his career to the point where this year, they still needed a tackle anyway, so they didn't just do it because Jones struggled last year, but they used the number 20 overall pick this past year, the Steelers did, 2024 draft, number 20 overall on Troy Fautanu. And then Jones comes into the preseason, allowed a couple sacks in the preseason. Not a good look. Then he had a bad stretch against the Broncos in week 2. And when the right tackle jumped off sides on a 3rd and 6, that made it 3rd and 11. And then a couple plays later, he was called for holding. And then 2 plays after that, he was called for holding again. And it was the one pass where Fields threw to George Pickens for what would have been a 51-yard gain, but because Jones did that. And Tomlin was upset about that. And it looked like Fetanu was going to be the guy starting for the foreseeable future at right tackle until Fetanu injured his knee in practice and went on IR now. So it's being reported by NFL media that he will likely miss the rest of the regular season, could play in the postseason, but likely out for the regular season. He's going to have surgery on his knee, Fetanu is, and that adds added pressure to Jones. So Jones comes into this game now, and there's no Fetanu there. It's him. He's the guy. But Jones did perform well against the Chargers. As a matter of fact, Justin Fields even commented on Jones's play and how impressed he was with the second-year tackle. So that's a good sign. The Steelers can't afford to have offensive line issues right now. Thankfully, again, though, mobile quarterback back there with a big game, Justin Fields. Fields, by the way, utilized 8 different receivers. Calvin Austin emerged as the number 2 receiver for this team. He 4 catches, 95 yards, and he had that 55-yard catch and run for a score. Najee Harris was again the bell cow running back. He had 18 of the team's 31 rushes for 70 yards. Curious as to why Jaylen Warren is not getting many opportunities and also why he's not doing much with those chances. He had 3 carries for 5 yards, caught 1 pass, and lost 4 yards on that one. So not sure if it's still an injury thing or if it's a production thing now. Cordero Patterson, though, he did get 33 yards on 4 carries, caught 3 passes for 15. So running game, serviceable, not great, serviceable though. And we'll see if Jaylen Warren can play a bigger role in this offense going forward. So far, though, in the season, the defense has been the star of the show. They held the leading rusher in the NFL, J.K. Dobbins, just 44 yards rushing on 15 carries and 107 passing yards to Herbert and Heineke combined. So defense played great. Through 3 games, they've allowed 26 points, 8.7 points a game. They've only allowed 1 first down by penalty, which is a huge thing right there. Through 3 games, they've only allowed a single first down by a defensive penalty. Playing a clean game. All these things are going well for the Steelers. Look, I know that, well, we'll talk about this in a second. But anyway, so teams against the Steelers are 7 for 32 on third downs. That's just under 22%. Meanwhile, the Steelers are 19 for 44 when they're on offense on third downs. That's a little over 43%. The Steelers have allowed just 2 passing touchdowns. They've intercepted 4 passes. They've allowed just 71 rushing yards a game compared to the 131 they're getting on their side of the ball with Harris leading the way on that one. Individual defensive performance. Deshaun Elliott, he has 18 tackles. Minka Fitzpatrick has 16. Patrick Queen has 14. TJ Watt has 3 sacks. The Steelers are +4 on turnovers. So the Steelers play at Indianapolis on Sunday, and they opened up as a 1.5-point favorite over the Colts. Indy picked up its first win of the season on Sunday. They defeated the visiting Chicago Bears 21-16. Another standout running back, Jonathan Taylor, is on the menu now for the black and gold. He is 3rd in the AFC in rushing with 261 yards, including he's got 2 100-yard games. He's averaging 5.1 yards a carry and has 3 touchdowns with 16 carries resulting in first downs. Najee Harris leads the Steelers with 8 carries resulting in first downs. Jonathan Taylor has 16. So think about if the Steelers can get a win here. And look, their first game, I know, Atlanta, Cousins didn't look great. It was a nice win for the Steelers to get that one, but, I expected them, I know they were underdogs, I think, going in, but I expected them to win that game against Atlanta. Then they play a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, and rookie quarterbacks never do well against Mike Tomlin, for sure. He's got a great record against rookie quarterbacks, and Denver was not the better team, clearly. Chargers come in, undefeated, yes, they were dinged up, though. So I understand the Steelers did not play a full-strength Chargers team, although you could argue the Steelers also weren't full strength with Fetanu out. But nonetheless, so the Steelers, it's not like they've got 3 signature big wins. I'm not saying they've been world beaters yet. Look at the Chiefs 3-0 record. It's different than the Steelers. They beat, they knock off the Ravens, they knock off the Bengals. So I'm not trying to say the Steelers are the best team or one of the best teams, one of the Super Bowl contenders necessarily in the AFC. But if they can get a win against Indianapolis on Sunday on the road, all of a sudden, the Steelers are 4-0 with 3 road wins, okay? So the schedule balances well in their favor as far as playing at home. I know they've got a ridiculously tough stretch the last 7 or 8 games of the season. I know it's going to be tough. They can keep banking these wins, though. It's going to make it easier for them to secure a playoff berth. If they get to 4-0 with a win at Indy on Sunday, it's really hard to go 4-0 to start the season and not make the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to this game against Indianapolis on Sunday. and see what they can do. It'll be indoors. Indy's coming off a win, but they're 1-2, and they're just playing okay football so far. Their defense has some holes in it. We'll see if the Steelers continue to open things up with Justin Fields. I don't want to hear any talk about Russell Wilson being the starting quarterback because it would take 2 bad performances and 2 losses in a row probably for them to start considering maybe Russell Wilson. And I think the Steelers win this game this week and get to 4-0. So follow me on the X, @FitHappens. This has been the Black and Gold Daily Blitz, powered by DSP Media and FanStream Sports. Go download the app. It's completely free for Apple and Android users. And check out all of our shows. You can take it with you. Round-the-clock program. We got stuff going on. But again, thanks so much. Let's talk next week. Or we'll talk later this week and preview the Colts a little more in depth. And then, when I'm in Vegas, I'll do a show about the then 4-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Thanks a lot, folks.